you choose between multiple PhD programs now that you've been accepted? Well, keep watching and let's talk about it today on this episode of Navigating Academia. What's up, Navigating Academia family? This is your buddy and personal academic mentor, Dr. Phoenix Singh, coming at you to be able to say congratulations. You have done what so few people have actually successfully done this application cycle, and you have gotten not just one, you have gotten multiple offers. Genuinely from the bottom of my heart, congratulations. I know personally, having gone through this process twice myself, I can tell you that I know exactly how difficult this is, and you've done it. You have actually climbed Mount Everest and gotten accepted. God bless you, congratulations. What we're gonna do today is to be able to talk about the 5 key considerations that I want you to keep in mind when it comes to deciding between which of these programs you should go into. Now, I know, this can be almost like choosing between your children, I get it. And because you've worked so hard, a lot of us, I know that I was, are kind of afraid of making the wrong decision, okay? Now, obviously, if you want one-on-one help with this, you can always contact me. I'm at gradschoolapplicationcoach.com, all right? But today I'm gonna give you these 5 key considerations. The first one, understandably, this is a PhD, all right? Unlike other types of degrees, like let's just say like a PsyD or an MSW or an MA in counseling, for a PhD, the one critical human being in your life over the next over the next half decade or even more is your supervisor. All right. Yes, you're going to meet a lot of people and you're going to meet a lot of professors and so forth. They'll be, your teachers. They will be potentially also mentors, but there is one core person in your life and that will be your supervisor. So it is essential that you take into consideration a number of things. First and foremost, your personality fit with them. They could be super duper famous. And they could be your hero even. You could be reading their research for years and years, and you're like, there's nobody who I'd rather work with than this person on paper. But in real life, if there is not a strong goodness of fit, if they're super introverted and you're like me and you're really, really outgoing, if it's the case where, their kind of reputation is not the best in terms of them not treating graduate students that well or them being a little bit rude and so forth, you should really take those things into consideration and not assume that you are going to be the exception to the rule, okay? Next, connections. Is this a well-connected person? Some people who are some of my favorite researchers of all time, they basically only publish solo. They don't have a strong track record of publishing with other individuals within the field. It's possible that they may be a little bit socially awkward. It's academia after all, right? But it's one of these situations where if you want to go far in an academic career, connections are of paramount importance, and having a supervisor who's well-connected, like a super connector, as they call it, will get you everywhere over the next half decade of your life, all right? Now, obviously, we are assuming that this individual is publishing, and not just publishing, but publishing consistently, all right? I want you to go to their verified profile on Google Scholar. If they don't have a verified profile, that is a danger, Will Robinson, danger, okay? That's not a good sign. Big red flag there. If they do have a verified profile, go to it. I want you to take a look. I want you to sort by year of publication and make sure over the last 3 years that they have a consistent record of publishing. And not just publishing, but publishing as the first author or the senior author, which at least in my field of psych, is the final author on that paper. And equally important, are they publishing with students? If you take a look at who the co-authors are of the last 3 years and you know that they have other grad students and they're not publishing with them, that is the most epic red flag of all. Make sure you take a look at their CV and you find out that information. Sometimes it's really easy. They'll literally put something like a star next to any publication with a student co-author. It's gonna make your life so much easier, right? But if not, yeah, you're gonna have to manually go through it. I know it's a pain in the butt, but again, next half decade of your life, am I right? Okay, so that's number 1, is your supervisor. Number 2, connections to target postdoc supervisors. Now, remember, if you watch this channel, you know that I always tell you that, for me, literally on the drive up to Tufts University, where I did my undergrad, I was already thinking about where I wanted to go to grad school and who my target supervisor was going to be. It is never too early for you to think about that next step in your career. Okay, now, by the way, if you're watching this, and you are a freshman or a sophomore and you think it's too early, like I just said, it's not. You can always get in touch with me at gradschoolapplicationcoach.com. We can literally go through your entire curricular future in terms of what classes you should take and what you should be doing every single year to get into your target program. Because these PhD programs right now have acceptance rates of less than 2%. That's nuts. The average grad school supervisor is getting over 120 applications per year at top tier programs. That's crazy. So it is important as soon as possible that we start working on this together, all right? But the number two, like I said, right, connections to target postdoc supervisors. When you start your doctorate, I already want you thinking about or asking questions to your graduate school supervisor. What are the top postdoctoral programs, fellowships, okay, in your field? Geographically, where are they? What is the university and the department that they're in? And I want you to go and take a look in those departments and figure out, is there anyone there who has a strong goodness of fit with the research that you're going to be doing during the doctorate, okay? So that's number two. Think about it from the jump, all right? And if your grad school supervisor or anybody who is in that grad school department has strong personal connections or even a personal friendship with that individual or those individuals you may apply to for a postdoc, take that into consideration when you're choosing a program, all right? Number three, grad student feedback. If you can get it in terms of current and past students of whoever that target supervisor is, please do it. And even if it's not from that target supervisor, it's just from another student who used to be in that department who can tell you about the departmental culture. This is really important, all right? So that's number three. Number four, funding availability. Obviously, it's a PhD. I'm making the assumption here that you are fully funded. If you're not fully funded, what opportunities are there to be able to essentially make up as much of that tuition as possible? And frankly, even if you're fully funded, how can you make some money? All right. I mean, this is one of these things where even if tuition is taken care of, unless you're getting some sort of other stipend, maybe you're lucky enough to have won some sort of a scholarship, you still got to live. You want to take your partner to the movies. You want to go out and have a nice dinner every now and again. You want to go to the bar or the club with your friends to be able to relax a little bit each week. You want to go to brunch on Sundays. Whatever you want to do, it takes money. How are you going to fund those things? Because I'm really hoping that you're not going to go into student loan debt for frickin' brunch, okay? If you did, I'd get it. Brunch is frickin' awesome, right? But please don't do that. Last but not least, number five is name recognition. All right. Now, obviously, compared to something that is more of a clinical degree program, like I said, like a PsyD, MSW, MA in counseling, and so forth, PhD programs, name recognition of the university is less important. What I would argue, though, is that let's say that you have somebody who went to Harvard, like in forensic psychology, which is my field. If I have somebody who was an undergraduate student, let's just say, right, or frankly, a grad student who wanted to do a postdoctoral fellowship with me, and they were at Harvard, right? Or they were at UNT, University of North Texas in Denton, Texas. All day long, I would choose the person who went to UNT. Why? Because it is known that the faculty members there are some of the best in the country in my field. Same thing in Alabama, same thing at John Jay, same thing at Fordham, same thing at Drexel. Love me some Drexel. It's one of these situations where you need to know not just the reputation of the program in terms of the name of the university, but of the faculty members in that program. It will get you everywhere because these supervisors change, like the faculty members change over time. Where I did my postdoc, 3/4 of the faculty members who were there when I was there, poof, they're gone. They went other places. They retired. So because of that, if you were to mention where I did a postdoctoral fellowship, I would ask you, when did you do it? And if you tell me a certain number of years, I will know that that's super impressive. Versus now, it's just different, all right? I'm not gonna say it's a bad postdoc. I'm sure it's still a great postdoc, but it is different, all right? So those are the four core dimensions that I want you to take into consideration when it comes to choosing between multiple programs. But always remember, what an honor it is that you've been accepted to multiple programs in the first place. Genuinely, congratulations. I am so proud of you for having accomplished this. And like I keep mentioning, you can always get in touch with me at gradschoolapplicationcoach.com, even just to tell me your story, especially if the channel's helped you out at all. I love reading your emails and your comments below. Make sure, as always, to be able to check out our sponsor, Publication Academy, the leading source of guidance for how to be able to learn to publish in high impact factor journals. I'm telling you right now, if you're doing a PhD, you need to be able to get trained, and Publication Academy is the #1 place place on the internet to go. So God bless you guys. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Thank you so much for stopping by, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you here as always. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more in this series on navigating academia, please click on one of these links over here to be able to view more original content. I hope to see you there.